So there is a game called Space Marine 2. Now I played the first game way many years ago, and I'm really excited. I always thought I wanted a sequel, and I am glad that a sequel is being made. I will be playing this on Twitch, so if you guys want to play it live with me or check it out, whatever, I'll be over there. So twitch.tv/Vahlkor, go check it out. Let's do a story recap on the first game before we jump in the second one, and let's see how it goes.
A lot can change in a decade, and if you played 2011's Warhammer 40,000 Space
2011,
Marine,
dude.
it's been over a decade since you first experienced the game's narrative.
It has.
Unless you've replayed it recently, of course. However, if you clicked on this video, that's probably not you. So whether you've forgotten or never played it at all, you're in the right place. We're going over all the major events of the original game just in time for the much anticipated sequel.
I'm excited. I don't remember a lot. I honestly don't remember anything on the original game.
Alert! Forge World Grya is under attack by an orc. Wow! Sorry, let me break that down.
Okay.
Forge Worlds are factory planets that the Imperium used to mass produce their tools of war. Grya
yeah, for the first game. This is a recap for the first game. Yeah.
Of weapons for the Imperial armies. Aside from the loads of guns, there is also the Titan Invictus, a large mech that holds the title for most powerful weapon on the planet.
Oof.
These battle titans are of extreme importance, and the Imperium would hate to see them falling into the wrong hands. As it turns out,
don't remember any of this.
A Wa is simply the fancy name for a massive group of orcs.
Oh, I see.
Invasion, thousands of orcs led by the war.
Not gonna lie, the game does not look good right now. This game did not age well.
Boss Grimskull. Grimskull really wants those weapons and definitely wants the Invictus. So he and his green friends are pulling out all the stops in order to get them.
Wow.
On the verge of being overrun, Grya called out for help, and thankfully, because of the planet's importance, the Imperial forces answered. The first of the bunch to swoop in are the 203rd Company of Cadians.
203rd Company of Cadians, okay. Oh
then,
shit! I didn't mean to stop it. Sorry.
Learn that instead of destroying Grya's orbital defense guns, the orcs instead took control of them and were able to shoot Imperial forces out of the sky. The guards that did make it to the surface were left to fight with no reinforcements unless they could stop those guns. But the fact was, they were outnumbered and thinning fast. Chances of opening a path for reinforcements were unfortunately slim. This seemed like the right time to call in the big guns. The genetically modified
Is that where we come in?
Soldiers known as the Space Marines. Better yet, it was time to call in the Warhammer 40,000 poster boys, the Ultramarines.
Now those are the big guns.
2011 Space Marine Captain Demetrian Titus, veteran Sergeant Sidonus, and newbie Leandros making their way planetside in a strike cruiser.
No, I have not played any Space Marine, any Warhammer 40k thing other than Space Marine way back whenever it released. And I did play a little bit of Vermintide, but I'm not sure. Is that Warhammer 40k? I think that is, right? And that's the extent of my knowledge of anything Warhammer 40k, right? I don't know anything of this. So the reason why I want to watch this is to kind of get a refresher before we jump on the second game.
After the ship takes damage from the orc-controlled defenses, Titus suggests taking a different route to the surface, base jumping out the back of their ship and using their jump packs to aid in their descent. Leandros isn't thrilled and quietly protests, as this course of action goes against the Marine Code of Conduct, the Codex Astartes.
The Codex Astartes does not support this action.
However, he is far from in charge and the plan goes forth anyway.
He don't care.
The three Marines are separated as Sidonus and Leandros fall to Grya's surface, and Titus lands onto an orc ship instead. There, Titus begins slaughtering the orcs aboard.
Yeah, I remember this part.
Getting his first meet and greet with Grimskull himself. Instead of taking the war boss out with his bare hands right there and then, Titus turns the ship's guns onto itself, causing it to fall from the sky into Grya's surface.
Nice.
A bit of a risky move, but Titus survives the crash and successfully reunites.
Why go down by yourself when you can bring the entire ship, right?
Wounded. The Codex Astartes warns against using jump packs to leap blindly into enemy fire, and for good reason.
After wiping his tears, Leandros accompanies Titus in reuniting with Sidonus. And together, the three Marines fight their way through hordes of orcs
Wow.
in an effort to save the Imperial Guard.
Look at that reticle.
Astra Militarum, aka the normal human soldiers. It wouldn't be long before Titus and crew shift the tides and secure the battlefield. With the situation briefly in favour of the Imperium, the Marines meet with 2nd Lieutenant Mira of the 203rd Cadian Regiment, the only surviving Imperial Guard officer left on the planet.
Wow.
Titus thanks Mira for her service and compliments her leadership, especially under the circumstances. But their meeting doesn't last long as the goal is clear. Take back the orbital defense guns from the Greenskins. And by take back, I mean blow those frackers up. With that objective complete, the Imperial Guard are saved and can once more replenish their numbers. From here, Titus and crew set their sights on the Manufactorum in order to secure the planet's battle titans. When they arrive, the Marines encounter a distress signal from an Inquisitor named Drogon. The message describes a device he is developing that is at risk of falling into green hands if he doesn't receive help.
Okay.
Thus, the Marines gained a new goal: find the Inquisitor.
Like one thing I noticed on Space Marine whenever I was playing it for the first time is how weird everything is, right? Like, cause I don't know anything, and I see like that flying skull. I see all these beefy guys, and then I remember there were like some like bad ones, kind of like the same like giant, hulking dudes. Chaos Marine, was that what it was called? Something like that. Something along those lines. And I remember like not really understanding too much of why there were some bad and some good and all that jazz. I guess different factions of Space Marines or something.
Before the orcs do. Horde after horde, Titus fights his way through the Manufactorum until he finally reaches the Titan Invictus, and Drogon soon thereafter. It turns out
All right.
the device is a power source of Inquisitor Drogon's own creation, and an object that, if it falls into the wrong hands, could easily destroy the planet.
Oh,
With
shit.
the possibility of Grya's demise looming over their heads, the Marines follow Drogon's advice of recovering the power source. Unfortunately, Grimskull wasn't far behind and put a damper on that plan. That delay doesn't last too long.
Was that the
though,
boss?
as
Oh yeah, that's the boss right there.
Goons weren't a match for the strength of Titus. After the Orc and Marine scuffle, Titus retrieves Drogon's device from the generator room of the Manufactorum, causing a massive explosion.
Dang.
But similar to the start of the story, Titus survives, rising from the rubble and securing the device in its case. Once again, Titus battles his way through Xenos and reunites with his fellow Marines just in time to see Orc reinforcements arriving planetside. Time to grab Drogon and get the hell out of here with the device. All of this sounds like a pretty good plan, but Drogon is much more concerned with how Titus was able to handle the device without its shield and live to tell the tale. This is because, to the shock of the Space Marines, it conducts raw energy from the warp.
What does that mean?
Still alive.
What the heck is the warp? Well, it's basically hell. It's an alternative dimension of purely psychic energy that is home to the Chaos Gods and their unending legions of demons. However, traveling to the warp, most races in Warhammer 40,000 travel huge distances, although it isn't necessarily something you want to be associated with if you want the Inquisition to leave you well alone. After Leandros slings some accusations of heresy towards Titus, Drogon explains the device powers a weapon that the Imperium hopes to use against the Orcs, the Psychic Scourge. This untested weapon could either take out all the Orcs on Grya or split the planet in two. Out of options, Titus suggests taking the chance. A risky play, but the Emperor protects.
So
with the help of Lieutenant Mira,
he don't really care if the planet can be destroyed as long as we try. What the heck?
Ultramarines get a ride to Drogon's research facility. A bumpy ride as they are attacked by airborne Orc Stormboys. Inside the lab, Titus inserts the power source into the weapon and, despite another interruption from Grimskull, manages to fire the Psychic Scourge.
Oh, okay, so we did fire that.
Was that supposed to hurt?
However, instead of killing the Orcs or splitting the planet in two, the Scourge opened up a Chaos portal that spits out demons as well as their leader, Lord Nemeroth.
Oh.
Rogan died a long time ago, and Nemeroth was using his corpse as a puppet to trick the Ultramarines into opening the portal. During the commotion,
Oh my God.
Grimskull is knocked over the edge of the spire when the demons emerge. This doesn't kill him though, as he climbs back up and picks a fight with Nemeroth, sending them both over the edge.
So
Grimskull isn't such a bad guy. after
both
all.
bad guys fought between each other.
Now, alongside the large number of orcs, Grya is now being flooded by a growing number of Chaos Space Marines and demons from the orbital spire. The only way to end this mess of a battlefield was to use the Titan Invictus to destroy that spire. The
Oh,
new
shit.
goal was clear, but Leandros still had some things he needed to get off his chest.
The Codex
Uh-oh.
Astartes warns that those in league with Chaos can withstand the warp's touch.
This guy checks the Codex every time.
So, okay. So because I survived the picking up of that whatever thing, I guess it didn't damage me. I was supposed to be dead, but they haven't explained why though.
He needs to blink or breathe. To those who never played the original game, no one likes Leandros. Anyway, after dismissing Leandros' concerns, Titus makes his way to the Titan Manufactorum, where he bumps into Grimskull. As
Again?
In a showcase of orc resilience, that second fall didn't kill him either. After Titus and Grimskull battle one last time, Grimskull's death finally leads to the end of the Orc War.
About
With
time.
another victory on his resume, Titus reaches Invictus, overpowers its weapons using Drogon's device, and sends a huge blast at the orbital spire. The Chaos fleets had no way to enter anymore, but the Ultramarines still had to deal with the demons and Chaos forces that had already gotten through, including
Makes
Nemeroth.
sense. Yeah, makes sense. We gotta kill him.
Drogon's device, Sidonus unfortunately falls to the
Ooh.
Nemeroth. Standing over his lifeless body, the Chaos Lord explains his plan to use the device to ascend into a truly immortal Greater Demon, and hints that Titus's resistance could make him an agent of Chaos very soon. Filled with righteous fury after witnessing the death of his brother in arms, Titus sets out to exact revenge on Nemeroth. Once again, Leandros wasn't happy about this plan. Titus
This
fights against
Leandros
Nemeroth,
guy.
joined
Get him
by
outta
the
here.
Ultramarine Second Company, as well as reinforcements from the Blood Ravens chapter. These being the stars of Relic's Dawn of War titles, until finally reaching the spire and ascending with the use of a jump pack. Before the final confrontation, Nemeroth insists that Titus's connection to the warp means he is destined to fall to chaos, and lead his own band of traitor space marines, with Titus proclaiming
Interesting.
his only destiny is to destroy the Emperor's enemies. A battle ensues, and Nemeroth's ascension to demonhood is cut short before it completes. Titus uses his warp resistance to tackle Nemeroth from the spire, and spends the time it takes for these two foes to fall to earth,
Did you see the size of that boss? It's like twice the size of Titus. And Titus is not a small guy. Holy.
giving Nemeroth a well-deserved kicking. The Chaos Champion is destroyed, and Titus shatters the warp-infused power source. A wounded but victorious Titus takes in the view of Grya, a world he has saved. But
Wow.
his calm is interrupted by the arrival of Inquisitor Thrax and his escort of Black Templars. It turns out Leandros snitched all the way up to the Inquisition.
Oh,
and thus
shit.
Titus is given an ultimatum.
We knew we couldn't trust
Surrender to the
Leandros.
authority of the Inquisition, or doom his fellow Ultramarines and Astra Militarum allies to be found guilty by association. Titus leaves Grya in the custody of Thrax, but not before delivering Leandros one final savage emotional blow.
And you have failed.
As the ramp of the Inquisitorial craft comes to a close,
Wait.
so does the story.
They arrested me, but I'm still carrying my gun. Like, yeah, fine. I'll go with you guys. Just keep my gun. It's fine. How does that even make sense?
Story of 2011's Space Marine.
Hmm.
But there is actually a lot more lore between the events of the original Space Marine and 2024's Space Marine 2, as the sequel takes place approximately 200 years after the events of the first game.
200 years
What
after
did
the events of the
Thrax
first game,
do
okay.
this? Where has everyone's favorite Ultramarine been all this time? Why has he got a fresh new suit of armor? And what the hell is a Tyrannid?
By the way, look how much better this looks than the first game. It is insane.
Well, we're going to
It's been more than a decade.
follow-up video coming very soon. So be sure to subscribe for that as well.
All right.
As well as lots more Space Marine suit content. Until then, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
All right. So obviously we're not.
Begins
No.
with Captain
No.
Dimitri and
No. No. No more. All right. I don't want more spoilers. All right. We're definitely playing this. We're gonna be able to.
can change
Come
in
on, man. That kind of answer kind of refresh a little bit, so that's good. I know that I was arrested, okay, and all that, and I know that I stopped the whatever chaos guy. Some of this stuff, this first game did not age well, did it? Like these graphics are not as good. But hey, I mean, it is a long time ago, so I'm not too worried about that. Obviously, the second game is gonna look insanely good, so excited for that. Yeah, so remember, if you guys want to check this out, I'll be live on Twitch. I'm on twitch.tv/Vahlkor. You guys can, come hang out. I'll probably do some playing with anybody in chat and stuff, co-op and stuff like that. Probably after we do the main story. I kind of wanna see how far I can get by myself, because I know you can do co-op and stuff. So yeah, all right, see you guys later.